ஹலோ ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், வெல்கம் பேக். இப்போ நம்ம வீடியோவில் 8th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் எக்கனாமிக்ஸில் யூனிட் 2 பப்ளிக் அண்ட் ப்ரைவேட் செக்டார் இந்த லெசனில் 7th ரோமன் லெட்டர் ஆன்சர் த ஃபாலோயிங் இன் டீட்டெயில் இந்த கொஷின்ஸ்க்காக ஆன்சர் பார்க்க போகிறோம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கொஷின், எக்ஸ்பிளைன் த ஆர்கான்ஸ் ஆஃப் பப்ளிக் செக்டார். ஆர்கான்ஸ் ஆஃப் பப்ளிக் செக்டார் ஆன்சர் பார்த்தோம்னா ஃபஸ்ட்டு அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் பை அ கவர்மெண்ட் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட். It is very common almost in all countries. For example, post and telegraph, railways, port, trust irrigation project on India, etc. Second one, the joint sector companies. It is governed by law and controlled by the government as principal major shareholders. Example, Indian Oil Personaves Private Limited, Indian Oil Sky Tanking Limited, Rating Gas and Power Private Limited, Indian Synthetic Rubber Limited. Next, public corporation. This type of organization is the establishment of public corporation by the state of the parliament of legislature. Example, LIC, Air India, the Reserve Bank of India, Electricity Board. Second question, write briefly, explain the history of public sector. History of public sector. When India achieved independence in 1947, it was primarily an agricultural country with a weak industrial base. It is established for their own economic interest and ruled the subcontinent with brute force. The first industrial policy resolution announced in 1948 laid down broad contours of the strategy of industrial development. The Planning Commission was formed in March 1950 and the Industrial Act was enacted in 1951. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru believed that the establishment of basic and heavy industry was fundamental to the development and modernization of the Indian economy. His vision was carried forward by Dr. V. Krishnamurthy and the Indian statistician Mahalanobis. The 1991 industrial policy allowed greater freedom to the private sector and foreign direct investment was invited from business houses outside India. Thus, multinational corporations gained entry into the Indian economy. Thus, we have public sector units, private sector enterprises, and multinational coexisting in Indian economy. Next, third one, explain any 5 measured indicators of socio-economic development. First, GDP. GDP na gross domestic product. GDP supports in developing socio-economic development. The proportion of GDP by the industrial sector, both private and public sector, has been increased. It results increasing government funds and increases public spending. Second one, life expectancy. The life expectancy in India is 65.80 years for men and 68.33 years for women. Government provides high degree of health measures through National Health Protection Scheme and serves poor and vulnerable families. Third, literacy. SSA na Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, implemented for making free and compulsory education to the children of 6 to 14 years with life skills. The government also introduced RMSA, Smart Class, Fleming, free computer skill classes and Digital India for increasing the level of quality in education. Next, employment. A growing number of people moved urban areas in search of employment. Hence, government started the smart city with many facilities to encourage people to take up employment in these places. The government encourages private sector to start an industry in backward areas by providing tax benefit electricity at a lower tariff, etc. Provision of house, clean drinking water and sanitation. Government sector provides housing facilities, clean drinking water facility and sanitary facility under Clean India planning. Next question பார்க்கலாம். Fourth question, what are the importance of public sector? Public sector plays a major role in the development of any economy. It has following importance. First, public sector and capital formation. The role of public sector in collecting, saving and investing them during the planning period has been very important. Next, economic development. Economic development mainly depends upon industrial development. Heavy and basic industries like iron and steel, shipping, mining, etc. are required for supplying raw materials to the small industries. Next, balanced regional development. Public enterprises have developed the backward areas, thereby bringing about complete transformation in the socio-economic life of the people in these regions. Next, employment generation. Public sector has created millions of jobs to tackle the unemployment problem in the country. The number of persons employed during the year 2011 was 150 lakhs. Next, export promotion and foreign exchange earnings. Some public enterprises have done much to promote India's export. The State Trading Corporation (STC), the Minerals and Metal Trading Corporation (MMTC) have done very well in export promotion. Next, protection to sick industries. Public sector takes over the sick industries and prevent many people from getting unemployed. It also prevents unnecessary locking of capital, land, building and machinery, etc. Next one, import substitution. Some public sector enterprises were started specifically to save foreign exchange. The ONGC, the Indian Oil Corporation Limited, Bharat Electronics Limited, etc. have saved foreign exchange by way of import substitution. Next question பார்க்கலாம். Next question, what are write the differences between public and private sector? Differences between public and private sector. First, public sector. Ownership of industries is with government. Public revenue depends upon levy of taxes on income and commodities and services. Public sector ensures the proper wage. It does not allow to concentrate huge wealth in few hands or rich people. Example, NLC, SAIL, BSNL. No tax evasion. It is service oriented. Reservations are implemented. Priority is given to the socially backward people. Next, private sector. Ownership of industries is with private individuals, issuing shares and debentures or by taking loan. Private sector exploits the workers. It allows concentrate of huge wealth in few hands or rich people. Example, TVS Motor, Ashok Leyland, Tata Steel. Tax evasion is possible. It is purely profit oriented. It does not care the socially backward people classes. Reservation is not followed. Next question, write the functions of private sector. Functions of private sector are given below. The main function of private sector is to create innovation and modernization, develop and maintain infrastructure and services, promote and expand existing businesses, promote human capital development to help vulnerable groups, promote small, micro and medium enterprises, that is SMME, through supply side measures and demand side measures and attract investment in the city. The government has fixed a specific role to the private sector in the field of industries, trade and service sectors. பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இதோட 6 கொஷின்ஸ்க்கான ஆன்சர்ஸ் வந்து பார்த்துட்டோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் வீடியோவில் மீட் பண்ணுறேன் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ். தேங்க்யூ.